A transmission replacement costs between $3,000 and $7,000. Some shops charge over $10,000 for luxury vehicles and continuously variable transmissions. It is one of the single most expensive repairs you will ever face as a car owner. And here is the insane part. There is a check that takes literally 3 seconds, and it can tell you if your transmission is healthy or heading toward catastrophic failure. Japanese mechanics have been doing this for decades. It is baked into their entire maintenance culture. But most American dealerships will never show you this. In fact, they will actively tell you not to worry about it because your transmission fluid is lifetime. Today, I am going to show you exactly what this check is, why Japanese mechanics swear by it, and why your dealer would rather sell you a $6,000 transmission replacement than spend 3 seconds preventing one. Let's start with what Japanese mechanics actually do differently. In Japan, every single vehicle on the road is required by law to undergo a rigorous inspection called the Kaizen. It happens every 2 years. Not optional, not a suggestion. If your car does not pass, it is illegal to drive it. The Kaizen inspection covers over 60 individual checkpoints, everything from headlights and emissions to brakes, suspension, steering, and yes, drivetrain components. Japanese mechanics check transmission fluid level and condition as part of this mandatory process. They look for leaks, they check the fluid, and if something is off, they flag it immediately. This is not upselling, it is the law. Now compare that to what happens at most dealerships in the United States. You bring your car in for a routine oil change. The technician drains the oil, swaps the filter, maybe rotates your tires. You pay $80 and you are out the door. Did anyone check your transmission fluid? Almost certainly not. Did anyone even mention it? Probably not. If you ask about it, you will often hear someone say, "Oh, that's lifetime fluid, you do not need to worry about it." That phrase, lifetime fluid, has destroyed more transmissions than probably any other single thing in automotive maintenance. Here is what the manufacturers actually mean by lifetime. They mean the fluid is designed to last the lifetime of the warranty, not the lifetime of the vehicle. If your powertrain warranty is 5 years or 60,000 miles, the manufacturer is saying the fluid should be fine for that period. After that, you are on your own. And this is where things get really ugly. Major transmission manufacturers like ZF and Kaizen, the companies that actually build the transmissions inside your BMW, Toyota, and Chrysler, and dozens of other brands, recommend changing transmission fluid every 50,000 to 80,000 miles. The companies that build the transmissions are telling you to change the fluid. But the car manufacturers who buy those transmissions are telling you it is lifetime. Why? Because telling you the car needs less maintenance makes it cheaper to own on paper, and that sells more cars. Now let's talk about the actual 3-second check. This is so simple, it's almost embarrassing that more people do not do it. If your vehicle has a transmission dipstick, and many still do, here is exactly what a Japanese mechanic does. They pull the dipstick, wipe it on a clean white paper towel, and they look at 2 things, color and smell. That is it. 3 seconds. The white paper towel is the secret weapon because it gives you an instant crystal clear red on the condition of your fluid against a neutral background. You can see the true color, and you can spot contaminants like tiny metal shavings that would be invisible on a dark rag. Here is your decoder. Healthy transmission fluid is bright red or pinkish red, translucent, and has almost no smell, maybe slightly sweet. If you see this on your paper towel, your transmission is in good shape. Keep doing what you are doing. Dark red to brownish red means the fluid is aging. It is still functional, but it is losing its protective properties. This is the sweet spot for a fluid change. Catch it here and you are looking at a $165 to $290 service that prevents thousands of dollars in future damage. Dark brown to black is serious. The fluid has broken down from heat and friction. The protective additives are gone. Internal components are being damaged right now as you are reading this. A burnt toast smell on top of that dark color is your transmission screaming for help. It means severe overheating has occurred and the friction materials inside are cooking. If you also see tiny metallic flakes or glitter in the fluid, that is metal shaving off internal gears and clutch packs. At this point, you may already be looking at major internal damage. And finally, if the fluid looks milky, pink, or cloudy, coolant or water has contaminated your transmission fluid. This is an emergency. Coolant contamination destroys clutch packs, corrodes the valve body, and can kill a transmission in a shockingly short time. Japanese mechanics treat this check as non-negotiable. Every service, every inspection, they check the fluid. The reason Japanese cars have a reputation for lasting 200,000, 300,000, even 500,000 miles is not some magical engineering secret. It is this. It is catching problems when they are a $200 fluid change instead of a $6,000 rebuild. One guy on a Toyota forum mentioned his 1998 Tacoma just hit 557,000 miles. Regular fluid changes since day one. Hey, before we keep going, if you are learning something from this, hit that like button. It genuinely helps the channel. Trust me, the information coming up is even more critical. Now here is where dealers really drop the ball. Starting around 2010, more and more manufacturers began eliminating the transmission dipstick entirely. They call these sealed transmissions or non-serviceable transmissions. Sounds fancy, right? Sounds like advanced engineering that does not need attention. That is exactly what they want you to think. In reality, these sealed transmissions still have fluid that degrades over time. They still have filters that get clogged. They still need service. The only difference is that now you cannot easily check or service them yourself. You need specialized equipment and a trained technician to even access the fluid. One well-known Toyota master technician who goes by the Car Care Nut on YouTube has been warning about this for years. He has seen countless transmissions fail because owners trusted the lifetime fluid claim. His recommendation? Change your transmission fluid every 60,000 miles or 6 years, regardless of what the owner's manual says. He has specifically seen transmissions that needed expensive repairs because the so-called lifetime fluid was never changed. Even on sealed transmissions, the fluid can and should be changed. Sealed does not mean maintenance-free. It means the manufacturer made it harder for you to maintain. There is a huge difference, and it gets worse. Some dealers have actually refused to perform transmission fluid changes even when owners specifically request it. One Toyota 4Runner owner went to the dealer at 40,000 miles asking for a transmission fluid change. The dealer said no, it is lifetime fluid. The owner came back at 70,000 miles and got the same answer. When the owner insisted, the dealer made the owner sign a liability waiver saying the dealer was not responsible if the transmission failed after the service. Think about that. The dealer would rather have you sign a legal document than perform basic preventive maintenance. That same owner traded in the 4Runner for a Lexus and never went back. Let me be clear about something. If your car is over 100,000 miles and the transmission fluid has never been changed, proceed with extreme caution. This is one area where most transmission experts agree. On a transmission that has been severely neglected, a fluid change can sometimes dislodge debris that was actually helping worn clutch packs maintain friction. It is controversial, but the reality is that if the fluid is jet black and the transmission is already showing signs of slipping, a fluid change might push it over the edge. The key is to start early. Catch it at 50,000 to 60,000 miles while the fluid still has some life in it, and you are golden. Wait until the fluid looks like coffee and smells like a burnt electrical fire, and you might be past the point of no return. For those of you with newer sealed transmissions that do not have a dipstick, you are not completely out of luck. There are things you can watch for without opening the hood. If you notice hesitation when shifting from park to drive, or a delay before the car actually moves after you step on the gas from a stop, that is a warning sign. Rough or jerky shifts, especially at low speeds, are another red flag. A whining or buzzing noise that changes with vehicle speed often points to low or degraded automatic transmission fluid. And if your transmission temperature warning light comes on, or your check engine light illuminates, do not ignore it. These systems are usually connected. Some newer Toyota models even have a hidden feature in their onboard computer called the Automatic Transmission Fluid Thermal Degradation Estimate. It tracks how many times your transmission fluid has reached high temperatures, essentially giving you an internal oil life monitor for the transmission. The factory service manual says to change the fluid if this number goes above 50,000. But here is the thing. You need a diagnostic tool or an OBD app with Toyota-specific enhanced parameters to even see this number. It is not displayed on your dashboard. It is buried in the computer. Your dealer knows about it. They just do not mention it. So what do you actually do? If your car still has a transmission dipstick, make this a monthly habit. Pull it, wipe it on a white paper towel, and check the color and smell. If the fluid is anywhere past dark red and heading toward brown, schedule a drain and fill. Not a flush, a drain and fill. A standard drain and fill replaces roughly 1/3 to 1/2 of the fluid. It is gentler on the system and perfectly effective if done at regular intervals. Use the exact fluid your manufacturer specifies. This is critical. Using the wrong transmission fluid can cause catastrophic damage. For Toyota vehicles, use genuine Toyota DOS fluid. For your BMW, use the fluid specified by ZF. Do not cheap out here. The fluid itself costs maybe $8 to $12 per quart. A few quarts of the right fluid and 30 minutes of labor could save you $3,000 to $7,000 in transmission replacement costs. If your car has a sealed transmission, find a reputable independent mechanic or a specialist who works on your brand. Not a quick lube place, not a chain shop, but someone who knows the specific procedure for your transmission. They will have the diagnostic tools to check fluid temperature, the equipment to properly drain and fill without introducing air into the system, and the knowledge to set the fluid level with precision. On sealed transmissions, overfilling or underfilling even slightly can cause shifting problems, overheating, or premature wear. There is a reason Japan exports some of the most reliable used cars on the planet. Their mandatory shaken inspection system forces owners and mechanics to stay on top of maintenance. The transmission fluid check is just one small piece of that system, but it is arguably the impactful one you can adopt. 3 seconds on a white paper towel tells you more about your transmission's health than a $150 diagnostic scan at the dealer. Japanese mechanics know this. Independent transmission specialists know this. Even the companies that build the transmissions know this. The only people who do not seem to know it, or who choose not to tell you, are the dealerships that profit when your transmission finally gives out at 90,000 miles and you are standing at the service counter staring at a $6,000 repair bill. Start checking your fluid. Start changing it on a schedule. And stop believing that any fluid lasts a lifetime. The only lifetime that fluid is guaranteed for is the warranty period, and after that, you are the one paying. That's all for today. If this video saved you from a future transmission disaster, hit that like button and share it with someone who drives a car with so-called lifetime fluid. Subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.